In this video, we're going to take a look at a common misconception that students have when they are developing their understanding of multiplication. Now, let me take a moment to describe the difference between a misconception and a mistake. Both often lead to a wrong answer. And so if we don't dig into how the students are thinking about it, we don't often know if it's a mistake or a misconception. So a mistake is often when a child misremembers something like a fact or a procedure. It happens usually when they're trying to follow a rule and a procedure, but they don't remember the exact steps. Or they see a fact, like sometimes when I see 4 times 3, I think 7, just because I see 4 and 3. And I think, that makes a 7 because I added instead of multiplying. That's a mistake. That is not something based in my understanding of mathematics. And that's when misconceptions happen. Misconceptions actually happen as a natural development of students' understanding. What they are doing in the moment makes sense to them. It is based on their mathematical understanding at the moment, not just because they misremembered a fact or they didn't do the steps properly. Okay, so that's the difference between mistakes and misconceptions. So one example of a misconception that students have when they're developing their understanding of multiplication appears when they are doing multi-digit multiplication. So an example like 34 plus 17, they see it as the 30 and the 4, the 10 and the 7. But they will only multiply the 10s together and the 1s together, right? And we can tell them till they're blue in the face. No, you got to multiply this and this and this, right? It's basically the development of the distributive property. This is a really important understanding for kids to develop. Now, this could also be seen as a quote unquote mistake instead of a misconception, but it depends what grade they are, right? If you are working with 4th graders who are just starting their development of multi-digit multiplication and they are starting to learn how numbers work with multiplication, this is not a mistake. This is a misconception. They are learning all of this stuff about multiplication. They're trying to make sense of it. Now, if you have an 8th, 9th, 10th grader who's still doing this is becoming a mistake, or they don't have an understanding of multiplication and multi-digit multiplication to draw from. Okay, so what can we do to help them out? Well, the number one thing that I know helped me was not the FOIL method that my algebra teacher taught me. It was when I got to see it visually, by building it with base 10 blocks, by drawing area models of the problem. So that's what we would encourage you to do with your students. Lots and lots of visuals, building and drawing these problems using the area model to help them understand how multi-digit multiplication works. All right, now it's your turn. Down in the comments, let us know about a misconception that you've seen your students have as they're building their understanding of multiplication. And let me clarify one final thing. When we ask what you see kids are struggling with around addition or subtraction or multiplication or division, whichever one of these videos you are watching, it is not when kids just don't know their facts. I'll ask that you don't put that one in the comments, okay, as something that kids are having a misconception around. There might be a specific fact that kids are struggling with, or a strategy that you see them trying to use as they are working on building their understanding of their facts. But a blanket description of kids just don't know their facts, that is not a misconception. That's something that we are helping them build an understanding of. And so what specifically are you seeing that they are struggling with when it comes to learning and understanding the basic facts when it comes to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division? All right, so let us know what kinds of misconceptions kids are having when it comes to building their understanding down in the comments.